TheobaldTheBird. Does this name mean anything to you? Maybe you know him as a good fighter, maybe as a good friend, but we're gonna find out more about him in this video. So watch until the end and let's get it started. Well, let's start from the beginning, or more exactly, from this video, where he first played the role of a PvPer with a huge ego. And these are not my words, but his. Anyway, like any PvPer, he wanted only one thing: prove that he is the best. And as one quote says, if you want to be the best, hang out with the best. So he fought Purple to become consul, and his job as consul was to command the team, while completing stupid missions that had nothing to do with PvP, due to the conflict between farmers and warriors, and Theo knew about it. But unlike Parrot, who tried to solve it, he was more interested in killing mafia members, and well, Purple didn't let him do that either. Theo wasn't happy about it, but he couldn't do anything, because it wasn't a good reason to betray Purple. It wasn't until Purple betrayed Theo by almost killing him. Theo also wasn't happy about that and wanted to kill him, but Parrot had other plans for him. He wanted him to step down from his leader position. And yes, he did it. After that, the reconstruction of the warriors began. They started with the player's armor, or more exactly, with armor trims on it. Everyone had to destroy armor trims, except Theo, because he doesn't have them. And that's not all. As Theo wanted, they stopped doing these stupid missions, and began to prepare for a war against the mafia. But the mafia was smarter than them, because they caught the warriors and put them in prison. But they weren't smart enough to realize that Parrot would come after them to save the warriors. And so, yeah, it happened. Parrot saves everyone except himself. He does this in order to talk to Ashwag. But as it turned out, it would have been better if he had escaped with Theo, because he learns that his civilization does not have long to live. After that, he quickly tries to return to his civilization to inform them of the big danger, but it was already too late. The mafia destroyed everything and everyone in their path. Even those who weren't involved were killed. Only these 6 survived, but that number was definitely not enough to win the war against them, so they split up to find more players. After finding them, they returned to their base, where they planned what to do next with the mafia. Unable to come up with anything better, they went to the mafia's base with Theo, where they met Ashwag and Clown Pierce. But as you can see, the meeting did not go well, so they had to leave this base and return to their base, where an unpleasant pink surprise awaited them. And well, Parrot was not exactly happy with this gift, so Spoke came to him with another one, and that was the mafia's status chambers. But it wasn't only his gift, it was also his teammates' gift. So Parrot with Spoke decided to tell everyone about it, and they were happy to hear it. So happy that they were ready to forgive a player like Spoke, who had been terrorizing the server for the entire season. And now Spoke is happy, Parrot is happy, the team is happy. But do you know who isn't happy? The same team that was ready to idolize Spoke as their hero, now hate him and portray him as a villain. Spoke was gone, and now everyone is turning on Parrot. One by one, they are leaving this base, and now it's Theo's turn. Here's what he says.
I never really wanted to fight the mafia in the first place. I'm gonna be real. I mean, if you have a realistic plan to fight, let me know. I'll leave you to it.
And after that, he left, not to join the mafia, but to go against them. But the war was over, and all mafia's members was dead. So how can you prove that you're still one of the best? Now, it's simple. Find someone who thinks the same way and to whom you commented this. And as you might have guessed, it was Wimu. He followed them, until Wimu and Eggchan noticed him, and the battle began, although it was difficult to call it a battle. And Theo thought so too, so he gave our duo time to prepare for another battle. But they didn't use that time wisely, so Theo gave them another chance, because again he really wanted to fight Wimu. But Wimu didn't want to fight Theo, so he called Canadian for help, and they built the safest base in Minecraft. Safe until Theo showed up. In short, he got tired of this, so he challenged Wimu to a duel one last time, saying that otherwise he would kill Canadian, so Wimu agreed. And now they are on the battlefield. Wimu is ready for battle. Theo is ready for battle. Eggchan is ready to yap. And so the battle began. Wimu uses his well-known weapon, the mace, while Theo uses his weapon, the minecarts. And which weapon do you think was stronger? Although everyone fought well in this battle, but Wimu had an advantage in terms of resources. That's why he defeated Theo. And Theo, accepting his defeat, left Wimu and never pursued him again. Well, not exactly. It seems to me that Theo have been really inspired by Wifies, because how else can you explain the fact that he reappeared literally one video later, stalking Wimu in this costume? But that's normal. What's not normal is that he joined some team again, one where Jaden is the leader. Well, not for Theo, because because he didn't like him, and as you can imagine, he betrayed him. But Jaden wasn't stupid, so he jumped into a hole that suddenly appeared out of nowhere. But Wimu was smarter and jumped after him. Theo was just smart, so he went about his business to find new players for his future team, or he would become the leader. And well, he found them, but they saw him not as a leader, but as a coach, and that was their biggest mistake, because, like their teacher, they were too confident and decided to attack Flamefrags. Theo tried to convince them not to do it, but it was too late. Flamefrags activated his immortal demon power and killed everyone. Theo watched this and realized that this wasn't for him, but he also realized one thing: he was broke and strong at the same time. So combining these characteristics, he decided to participate in a tournament with the strongest players on this server, where he would meet his old friends Wimu, Flamefrags, and Spoke. Okay, I'm kidding. And Foray. Unfortunately, he didn't have time to talk to them, but he did manage to talk to him, and well, he just made Theo even poorer, so he lost the tournament. And after a few more battles, he lost his armor too, and since he had nothing left, he went to the safest place for new players, the capital city. And since Redunes was the boss here, he decided to offer Theo an Elytra in exchange for working for him, and since Theo had nothing, he agreed. And you know what happened next. He meets Parrot, fools Boosfer, and rescues players from the spawn. And now you're thinking why I told you his whole story, because it's very important to know who we're talking about. After all, he became Parrot's new teammate, and there are several reasons for this. First reason, Theo has his own story. Unlike Wifies, who began his story with Parrot, we can understand that Theo is a different case. We know little about him, but we will know more in the future. Second reason, Theo has a history with Parrot. If, instead of Theo, there was some baguette battlerate, we would not understand who he is. So we only understand if the character is familiar to us, and that's what Theo turned out to be. The third reason is that Parrot and Theo are different from each other. Parrot relies more on redstone, while Theo relies more on PvP. This creates amazing dynamics between them. But I have one more reason. Fourth reason, they just suit each other so well, like two birds, one with glasses, the other without, one with clothes, the other without. It just sounds great, and it's unlikely that anything bad will happen to them in the future, right? If you finished this video, thank you so much. You can watch my other videos right here, if they're out, of course, and if they're not out, you can subscribe and wait for them to come out. Thanks for watching, see you soon, bye.